Sorry.
Steve, are we live?
We are barn burning 6 seconds into it.
Boom.
Steve, are you on quarantine, and who cut your hair? First two questions.
So I whacked her in my neckline, and she was like 2 gin and tonics deep, so it's like literally at a 45-degree angle.
I love it. I love
Not
it.
bad.
It looks like an incredible.
It looks good.
Incredible fade going.
I did the old number 2 all the way around today.
Nice.
It was getting pretty long, and I thought I'd play a joke on my daughter, and I literally just shaved the top and left the sides out, but she was gone, and I couldn't let it last. Like, it was so bad.
I don't know if we lost Trevor or
I
what's
don't
going
know.
on.
Yeah, it's
It's Trevor.
he's
Yep.
back.
That looks like Crater Lake if I've ever seen it, and I'd love.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back.
Yep.
Sweet.
Steve Arena, how you doing, man?
Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Oh,
This is a new
wrong
world
one.
we're living
There he is.
Good
and good. So, Steve, you had a bear tag in Oregon.
in. Yeah. Can I still hunt there, or is that shut down
Absolutely
yet? Or?
not. Absolutely not.
I think they just shut it down Friday.
yeah, it's last Friday. It's closed. As of yeah, there's still a glimmer of hope. I would say May 15th on. I think we might have a shot at it.
Open up. Did they shut it down for you guys, or just non-residents?
Just non-residents.
Non-residents. Just outsiders.
Just for you, pretty much just for you. Let's kick this off.
Like Idaho shut it down, but they only shut down the ability to purchase. Like, so if you've already bought the tag and license, you could go hunt.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Interesting.
So what are we all drinking? It's Beers with Bros. And
Let's
beer-
introduce Steve.
Hold on, Trevor. You don't have to have beer. You don't have to have anything. I'm drinking ice water. Not true. Anyway. But yeah. Steve, go ahead. What do you got?
Irish Net, dark smooth ale. It's pretty delicious.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Trevor?
Not much of a Coors Light kind of guy.
I'm trying to watch my carbs, so I'm
Yeah.
going mango truly.
Oh.
Oh god. Yeah, it's my favorite fruit. That's why I bought it.
Of course it is. Cody?
Little Knob Creek Old Fashioned. Yeah, pretty good.
Wow. Take your hat off. Steve Areno.
We know what Steve's drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
That always.
Okay. Well, now let's proceed with the conversation. No, Steve, it's awesome to have you on today, and let's talk about packs. Let's talk about what we're doing in the future. Let's talk about a lot of stuff as far as that goes. And we made a pack with you as far as the 4800. It's been awesome. What's your feedback been on our pack that we made? Because you went into pack sales and then we kind of got with you and said, this is kind of what we want. What has been the feedback on what we've taken the path of as far as from what was your general idea?
Yeah, feedback's been awesome. I mean, people really enjoy the pocket layout on that. It's super functional. It's something that it's a little bit heavier than our normal layout by just a few ounces, so you're not talking much. But something we always avoided, kind of adding more zippered pockets to the side. But having your guys' layout on there, it's great. The extra pocket on the inside. I mean, it's not drastic change from our standard 4800, but the nice little tweaks, I think, fit your guys' style. It's less mule deer where it's always spine, scope, and tripod, and more elk hunting. So I think it fits really well with what you guys do.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So through all this, guys, you're going to be able to weigh in with your questions. So obviously, Steve Speck from Exo Mountain. Anyway, the packs that we've ran for how long? Cody? Steve?
Well, we actually got remember when we broke into Lenny's Forerunner at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
driving to Colorado in
2013.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did a podcast. We recorded like a month or two ago, but it just released yesterday on Exo Origins, and that's part of the story came up where you guys were rolling through town at 2 a.m. and pulled 5 packs out of the back of Lenny's 4Runner that you had never seen before and took them to Colorado. And yeah, it was a fun part of the history of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that.
A little bit of a trust on your guys' part and us to take a brand new pack on an elk hunt out of state.
Well, I remember that outside shell material. It's stretchy, right? And so we're like, is this gonna rip or is it gonna be tough? Or
and of course,
you guys put some holes in that, and then we ended up beefing it up. Like frankly, that was one of the reasons.
We did. Yeah. No.
I think one thing I want to kind of start at, like Steve, so our Beers of Born and Raised is like the unformal behind the scenes, it's definitely more relaxed and everything else. I want to ask you, so far, what has your favorite memory been while hunting, shooting, spending time with Born and Raised Outdoors? And this can be, this is Beers of Born and Raised, so.
Favorite memory, man. Probably, I want to default to Colorado, just that entire trip. I mean, it was the first time we'd ever, you and I had hunted blacktail together a little bit, and obviously become really good friends. But that was our first ever, like, hey, we're going on a 7-day hunt together. And that trip was so much fun. And then we sure had a lot of fun in Idaho in 2018. Yeah, that was a blast. I think. Probably I'm not good at like remembering certain little events, but I think just as a whole, hunting with you guys, like our group of Pure Elevation Productions, Lenny, Tyler, and Jason, we're all fairly serious, and you guys hunt hard, but you have a really damn good time, and that's something that we all took away from that was we're here to have a lot of fun as well as kill elk. So that both the trips we've done with you guys we just have so much fun. Your ribs are sore every day because you're laughing so hard the day prior.
man stuff, as Trent likes to say, right?
Yeah. I was gonna that's on my note schedule, Cody. Yeah, let's just
take it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's been so awesome hunting with you guys, and I don't know. I think me and Speck have a different connection as far as we are totally opposite. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like the lightest weight guy that you can ever think of, and then the most probably heaviest weight guy that you can ever think of in the wrong spectrum. But I've helped you out on a lot of different hunts. We won't talk about that. It's okay. I mean, it is what it is, but it is what it is. But it's just been so much fun on different hunts. That is a fact.
What was the name?
I can picture
Bruce, right?
All right.
Yeah. Remember
What's
Mary
that?
Poppins? Mary Poppins.
Dude, that's what I was gonna remember. Like, all I can ever think about when I think of Trent and his pack is the guy from Mary Poppins dancing on the street with just crap hanging everywhere.
One of my favorite memories of all the hunts together, we went into a spot where we didn't see squat, and anyway, and I think that's a lot of our whole deal is like we'll go into a place for a day, if we don't see anything we'll back out. So we went into a place for a day, and we're like, well, let's just let's do some videoing at least, of us climbing out of this horrible precipice. Remember that canyon that we climbed out of?
Oh yeah, in Colorado.
Oh yeah, and you were fixing my pack like you were like a monkey that just that's like grabbing at the little monkey and eating. It was just Anyway, I had stuff everywhere, but yeah.
That drives me nuts seeing a pack all sloppy and straps hanging everywhere.
It drives you nuts. It drives you nuts. So anyway, so during this whole thing, guys, that you're kind of jumping in with us as we're going and everything. If you have questions for Steve, if you have questions about EXO or something like that, put them into the comments, and then we're going to try to answer them as we go through this whole live interview forum
Hey,
seclusion.
Steve, have you dove into bear or turkey hunting over there in Idaho? Or
We just opened Wednesday, and no, I have not been out yet. So I don't do much turkey. I'll definitely get out for a few bear trips. But yeah, we just opened. Usually I wait till later in April, early May to kind of get too serious about it. Just wait for the snow to burn up a little.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were anticipating that here, and then they got closed. So that's the big scares. Do you go early when it's not ideal, or do you wait and roll the dice? But
Yeah.
I ended up
having, man.
Yeah, just got back from Hell's Canyon, and it was a great trip. Bear hunting was not great, but it was a great trip. Yeah. We got some questions here popping in. Let's see here. Aiden F actually asked, are you guys going to do some turkey hunting videos soon?
Code.
I'm all in on that. All in. I've got the bug. Yeah, it's pretty stinking fun. So
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Trent, what's your nickname? Because you call like herds of ducks and geese. What are your nicknames for turkeys?
I don't know.
Garden chickens or
is it called a gaggle or?
I don't know. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I'm sure if I thought about it, it would be something probably inappropriate. So I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, skunk chicken. I have no clue.
Yeah.
They heard.
Speck, here's one for you from DKXPN0. Pretty cryptic name there. What separates you from Kafaru and Sitka?
Wow, we're just right for the throat.
Right for the yeah.
This is it.
Sitka. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, they don't really have a pack that's going to kind of compete at the level that we're, performance-wise. Strap, 100 pounds on it and go hike, through the mountains. You're not going to see that same performance. Kafaru makes a great pack. I mean, they're very, very different than us, just from top to bottom. So to me, it's put a pack on. This is tough for guys to do. But throw a pack, like you need to have 2 packs set up identically side by side, throw 80 pounds in them, go for a hike and see which one feels more comfortable for you. At the end of the day, to us, the frame is everything. Like if it's not comfortable to wear, we really could care less what pocket configuration it has or how it carries your weapon. 99% of the time it's on your back and it needs to be comfortable. So that's the first priority, making sure that it fits you. Within EXO, we have lots of adjustments, the 3 different belt sizes and the micro adjust belts and 2 different frame heights, and then the frame can be adjusted. A lot of stuff we added in the K3 you can really dive in and get a proper fit with the pack. And that's everything. Like I said, it's everything. How you carry the meat, where you put your gear, who cares if it's not comfortable. And then if both are equally comfortable to you, then you can start diving into the features that it has. And that's where we really get different. We're going to be a little bit more streamlined, I'd say. The pockets are kind of built into the bag. They're going to have more a basic bag with kind of pockets that you would add on to it. So a little bit more customizable at the cost of being more complex, where we're going to be a little bit more simple. Yeah.
Whoa.
I was thinking about memories. I would have to say one of the craziest / borderline irresponsible ones was when you double hammed and head in Colorado with camp in that blowdown.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know how heavy that pack was, but I was scared to death of you taking a tumble over some of that blowdown with how much weight on your back.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know.
It was probably 120, I would say. At least. At least.
Well,
I don't know stuff and wanted to see how it would perform. So I had no idea that the video would, at the time we were filming it, I had no idea that it'd make the video. It wasn't doing it to like, to be for showy purposes. It was purely like, hey guys, I just want to check this out and do it. And,
Yeah, I tried to cut all that out, Steve. I tried, but it was
Got a question.
Something pretty impressive. Something impressive that I don't think we've ever really talked about before. We've been using this pack for 7 years now, something like that, 7 or 8 years. And of all of us using it every single year, never one buckle broken, never torn a zipper, never ripped a pack, never broken any belt. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable from all the hard use we put these packs through every year, and to never have a failure. It's pretty impressive, Steve. So
yeah, I mean, it's a tough balance to set, like, to weigh. We're obviously focused on the opposite of Trent, of being lightweight, but we are, guys question durability, and it's like, as a company, we're putting a lifetime warranty on this. We have no desire to send something out to you that's going to break in a year or two, right? So we're as light as we could pretty much possibly be, while still being a pack that you can beat the crap out of for 5 to 10 years and have zero issues. So
my thing on the pack is just the mind frame of like going into it, because honestly, like going into it, I'm a pockets guy. I like to have this over here and I like to have that over there, and I like to know where everything's at. And then after kind of you and Cody taught me a lot about, like, okay, here's the deal. You take down your camp, shove it right in the bottom of your pack. And I'm thinking, hold on. I need to have some kind of a compartment that stores this. I need to have something that stores this. But when you look at a pack configuration, it's this whole deal, and it's like, oh wow, it packs so much lighter, so much better. I got rid of a lot of different weight, and regretfully, I'm gonna say this, I learned that from you guys. And it's amazing how much stuff that you don't have to live with, right?
Yeah, I think guys would be surprised just how, backpacking is not this overly complicated thing. I mean, the difference for me to go backpacking or day hunting is like 6 pounds. It's a lightweight bivy sack, a tarp, a sleeping bag, and a bag, and like everything else is with me all the time. So guys get hung up on the backpacking is this big obstacle, and you got to buy all this gear. It's really not the case. You can do it very simply and efficiently. And unfortunately, it just takes there's a learning curve to it, and you just got to get out there and start doing it. And over a couple seasons, you'll get dialed in pretty quick.
do you have some numbers, Steve, for guys like on a 3-day, 5-day, 7-day hunt, like weight wise, what they should be shooting for overall pack, or maybe meal weight, those sort of things?
Yeah, we talk about this on our Hunt Backcountry podcast quite often. We basically have what we call our base weight, right? Which is like all the gear that's with you, no matter if it's a 1 night or a 7-day hunt. And then from there, it's water and food, and depending on weather, clothes, right? So it's a pretty simple formulation. I think your base weight, you shouldn't be over 25 pounds of that's like everything you could think of outside of food, water, and optics tripod. If you're over that, you probably should be looking into, where you can cut weight. You're probably packing too much stuff. And then it's really simple. If it's, you can just throw 1.5 pounds of food per day. It's kind of a high number. If you're packing more than that, you need to really take a look at it. But if you just throw 1.5 pounds times, 5 days or whatever, so you're 7.5 pounds of food, your weapon, your water, that's all. The water fluctuates constantly. So you could have, 10 ounces or 8 pounds of water in your pack, depending on where you're at. So
Yeah.
I'd say your base gear 25 pounds, and then add on food, water, weapon, and optics. Some guys go crazy with optics of tripod, spotting scope, 18 by 56s that are going to tripod mount up, and their binos around their chest. I mean, you'd all of a sudden have 10 to 15 pounds of optics on you. So that, you can start, guys talk about going in for a 7-day hunt with a 70-pound pack, and you're like, holy crap. But they're packing optics, that's their gun, that's the pack full of water. That stuff adds up pretty quick. But I think it's just look at that base weight. And
Yeah, there's a question here from Tim McLaren. He asks, he goes, thoughts on binoculars versus spotting scope. Can you use just binoculars, or is it worth getting a spotting scope? This guy lives in Western Oregon, hunting Cascades there.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We had that same problem this year, Cody, when we went to Colorado rifle elk. We kind of thought, well, okay, we're carrying tripods so we can glass off of them. So now you have 6-7 pounds of tripod. Should we add the spotting scope, or we're looking for an elk that needs to be legal? Chances are we're going to need to get closer. But then we ended up seeing those elk that were 2 miles away, and we wished we had a spotting scope, and we left it in the truck. There was 3 of us going, dang it. I wish one of us had sacrificed and taken it. We thought we had seen maybe a spike or something, and we needed it to be at least a 4-point, and turns out it was a nice 5-point, and it looked like a spike.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say my experience in Oregon or Western Oregon, binoculars are going to suffice most of the time.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
But-
Agreed.
unless you're looking for deer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve, do you pack spotting scope during elk season or just deer hunting?
Very rarely am I going to pack a spine scope in elk season. It'd have to be a certain hunt that's open country, and I was looking for a big bull, but that's not, can't really count too many times that's happened. So yeah, elk hunting, just binos around my neck. Mule deer hunting, my current system is some 10x42 Swirl SLCs are my favorite bino of all time. So I love to put those on a tripod and do 95% of my glassing with the binoculars on a tripod. And then if I find something, I've got a lightweight 55mm spine scope that I can then zoom in on. And basically only scenario that is like mule deer hunting, and see a buck and get a better idea of what he is. I've got like Jason Wright that we've all hunted with. He's more into score than I am, so he's going to pack a bigger spine scope to get an idea if a buck's 170 or 178, from 4 miles away. That's not a concern to me, right? It's just like, hey, great frame, I'm going that way.
That's what I love hunting with Steve, because when it comes in, I look at Steve and he goes, yeah, it's going to
knock an arrow.
It's going to die, and he's shooting it. It does not matter, and that's what one huge part that I love hunting with Steve.
I am all about the elk meat first, man. That's for damn sure. I could care less about the horns.
100%.
I like this question from William. It says, which BRO boy can carry the most meat, and which one of you would win a bro round robin wrestling tournament?
Whoa.
Next
That
level.
really took a turn.
Yeah, it did.
Well, Trevor, I'm going to run the bus over you and say that you are the guy that's going to carry the least amount of meat, except in Colorado last year. It was the most impressive pack out I've ever witnessed all time.
He's talking shit, and then I packed the most of the whole year last year. Are you kidding me? You getting this, Speck?
You know how many bulls you killed? And it's like, I'll take the tenderloins here, my back.
Oh, I've done a lot of packs for Trevor in the past. All of us,
100%.
all of us have for Trevor. Yeah. No, I don't think there's a correct question or a correct answer for any of that. It's everybody, some on a long hunt, say it's a 10-day hunt or whatnot, people's feet get screwed up, people's backs get screwed up. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and everybody carries the weight for everybody else.
100%. Christopher Cargill we didn't talk about the wrestling tournament. Who would win the wrestling tournament?
Probably Steve. He's a wiry sucker. I think he'd surprise you.
I love it.
Christopher Cargill asks, he goes, I have a question for the group. How do you suggest selecting backcountry gear? You go super light or just get in better shape and carry a heavier pack?
Bingos. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to do this. We're
It's a
going to
mixture. It's a mixture.
do this.
We span the gauntlet there, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We really
Uh,
do.
Steve and I hired a personal trainer to help us and took altitude training and all sorts of stuff. Trent, I'm pretty sure, put his pack on the day before season and said, glad my boots still fit. and Cody, he does some running and that sort of stuff. So I don't.
It's all around the gamut. It's all around the gamut. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you want to talk about death hike stuff and everything, and I'll be honest, you guys, it's, we all think we're awesome and everything. And then you get on one of these death hike things and it's a whole different story. And I'll back out 110% and say, yeah, Cody and Speck.
And Speck, you guys can have.
Yeah, you guys can have that. My mind is on, trying to, get meat for the family or whatnot. But yeah, you guys are animals, and I don't think there's a lot of competition with us from that.
Speck, are you going to try to do that again this year?
We had it scheduled for back in into March and had to cancel it, obviously with all this crap going on. So we talked about pushing it to May, but we were going to do it like a 3-day thing on snowshoes and try to kill some wolves in the process. But yeah, we canceled it. And we'll hopefully get it going again here in May if things calm down. We'll see. But to answer the guy's question, just from my point of view, pack weight is pack weight is pack weight. It doesn't matter what your body weight is. Doesn't matter what shape you are in. It's important that weight wears down on you all day long. So you are burning extra energy at the end of the day. How important that is, you could easily argue hunting slower and hunting smarter kills more elk. If you're just in shape and you're running up the mountain, you're probably running by elk. So for me personally, the more in shape I am, the lighter my pack is, the more spring I have in my step, and the more I want to keep going and hunt hard, versus just being like lazy but sometimes lazy pays off. Sometimes sitting on your ass, taking a shot of whiskey and eating a sandwich, all of a sudden an elk walks by and you kill one. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, being a good hunter.
I'm the one that packed that whiskey for you, bro.
I love it. Ivory
How
Holsters asked, can you explain the pros and cons of the waterproof insert versus an external rain fly on the pack?
I don't know. You guys are rain coast guys. You tell me. Yeah.
Here's the deal, Spec, and I think that we should make this known to everybody, honestly, is I'm hoping this year to go to Alaska to hunt a tag, and I need a rain fly.
Oh.
Okay, well, there's the answer to that question. But at the same time is, so honest, I think the terrain, I think if you grew up where we did, I think there would be a different scenario, because honestly, it gets warm, about that 11:30 to, mid-afternoon, but that marine layer blows in, and anyway, it's wet as heck going through brush here. Anyway, talk to me. Give me a something.
Yeah, I've had rain covers, used them in the past. I would think in the brushy country you guys go through, it's just getting snagged on stuff and wanting to rip in the wind, it just flapping in the wind. And it doesn't guarantee that stuff stays dry inside. So on your Alaska, your hunt that you're talking about doing, if you're backpacking in there for 10 days or whatever it is, you're getting dropped off by plane, you like cross a creek and fall in, you're fucked, man. Your sleeping bag, everything's wet because you had a rain cover on your pack. Where if you take the dry bag system, everything's in there. You could go for a freaking swim in the lake, and when you come across the other side, everything's dry and you're safe and everything's good. And the weight penalty is a couple ounces. So for the guy to argue the rain cover is a better system, all he cares about is that the shell fabric gets wet. And to me, that's silly. Like who cares if the outside of the pack gets a little wet? It'll dry out eventually. What matters is your clothes and your sleeping bag. Everything inside stays dry.
Argument continues.
Spec,
Johnny?
we got a question for you here from Jason King. Running a business means making tough choices. There are many good companies who do manufacturing China. Was the decision tough to make exo packs in the U.S.?
No, not at all. Yeah, 100% want to be made in the U.S. from the start. Just enjoy that, man. It's just who we are, who we want to be. There's so many benefits to be made in the U.S. I mean, one of our 2 sew shops is here in town. I'm down there every single day checking on things.
It was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive when I went over there and you took me to the sew shop. It was really impressive.
Yeah, guys, it's way more complicated than people realize. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you do overseas, you lose so much control. Things are a lot cheaper. They're a lot cheaper. Probably 30 cents on the dollar, right? It's for what you pay here in the U.S. But the problems are exponential. Right now, I'm sure it's all glad during all this COVID stuff that we make stuff in the U.S. That we'd be probably out of business. You'd relied on China. So just so many benefits to being made in the U.S. The pack's more expensive. It steered us heavily towards being a direct to consumer company. But we like that. We like having a relationship with the customer. So it's a no-brainer for us. And then we source 95% of the materials in the U.S. We do get a few things overseas, and has nothing to do with price. It's just availability. Like the YKK zipper we use comes from over there, but they don't make it in the U.S. And it's the toughest zipper they make, called the racket coil. It's made for luggage, like airplane luggage. That's one of the few things we get over there. So
love it. Michael Hardy says, Steve, can a K2 frame now, can I use the K3 bag on my K2 frame?
Yeah. When I was designing K3 stuff, I really wanted to make sure that things were compatible. It's not perfect. We did change to all 1-inch webbing on the K3 stuff. So if he looks at his, he wants to put a bag on a K2 frame. So he said.
Yeah, it says I have a K2 frame now. Can I use the K3 bag on my K2 frame?
Yeah. So no problem. He'll just take the bottom of the K3 bag will have 1-inch webbing on it. He'll literally just pinch that in half and run it through a 3/4 inch buckle at the bottom of the K2 frame. And that's the hardest part of it. So it's pretty simple. Everything else lines up. All the buckles line up. The size is the same. It works out pretty seamlessly.
So Steve, if anyone during this COVID deal, if they're asking about availability and getting the pack and everything, are you guys up and running? Are you good to go?
Yeah, we're exceptionally fortunate. We've got myself, my sister works for me, Mark, who you guys all know. All of us are able to work from home and pretty much uninterrupted. And then we got 2 guys at the shop who, one guy's building packs from home, and then 2 guys at the shop that are shipping every day. So we've been able to keep up with things with only a minimal 2 to 3 day backlog. It's been challenging for sure. Every day there's new crap that pops up. Suppliers, just like one of our main suppliers in Washington's completely shut down, and so we're gonna at some point probably in May run out of stuff unless they open up. So just crap you're dealing with running a small business, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Copy that. Guys, if you're just joining us on this, we're with Steve Speck from Exo Mountain Gear. He manufactures our packs that we use. If you guys have any questions, just log them below and we'll try to get to them. Caleb Franzoy. I'm terrible on names. Anyway, what water bladder do you recommend to use with your packs? Is there any?
It doesn't matter. We on K2 and K3, that was definitely a complaint that like Lenny and I had when we were designing them. Is you run into a pack that has like a really small water bladder sleeve, and we've always just oversized the crap out of that water bladder sleeve. So you can fit anything in there. That sleeve is also acts as a double layer of protection between blood getting on, like when you're packing out stuff, blood actually passing through the fabric into the stuff, so it keeps it separate. And it also, if you're pop your water bladder, the water always drains out the bottom, so you never have to worry about getting your gear wet on the inside. So yeah, plenty of reasons that sleeves are oversized. You can fit whatever you want in there. I don't know what you guys personally use. I have a platypus hoser 3-liter bladder I use. It's lightweight, simple to use, pretty bomb proof. I think I had the same one for 5 years now with no issues.
No, I think that's kind of what we all, Cody, I think platypus is what he turned me on to.
Platypus, yeah. Although I
Yeah.
did have a nice, in the 2-liter blag for the squeeze bottle, doing the old, my filter's getting dirty, squeeze. And Craig was sitting right in front of me at lunch break the other day on the bear hunt, and just
Really?
yeah, like a liter of water just everywhere. Yeah, that was just a bag though. So definitely haven't had any issues in the bladder itself.
No, but yeah, that membrane is definitely key, which could work into a rain fly, but I'm not gonna just talk about that too much. Whatever. Okay, let's move on.
Hey, Spec,
let's move on.
how much of a role do you think trekking poles, like the guy that's out there that says, I don't want to carry the extra weight in carrying around trekking poles, what would you say to that?
That guy probably doesn't ever kill anything and never use trekking poles.
Yeah.
Wow, tough love.
No, I always have trekking poles on my pack. 99% of the time I don't touch them until meat's down on the ground. But what, like, the benefit they provide packing that meat out, saving your knees, it's, you know, I kind of kid too. It's like putting on 4-wheel drive. Like if you're packing out meat without them, you're gonna fall 10 times coming off a mountain. You never fall with trekking poles. It's kind of a safety thing too. It just saves your knees, man. Yeah, it's and I think the energy expenditure is substantially less. So one thing we talk about every once in a while is just like, you know, if you're hunting with a buddy and you kill something and you just pack it out and you're done and you're going home, who cares? But all of us, you know, typically have a buddy with us that's got a tag, so it's important to kind of conserve some energy. You get that meat out, and then the next day you're not just completely, you know, exhausted, where you can go back and hunt some more. So those little things kind of help. And then I use a tarp that uses my trekking pole as the support for it, versus having a tent that has its own set of poles. So you can kind of find multiple uses for that trekking pole.
Now, the reason Trevor wanted to do that is for me to apologize again to Trevor.
You should in writing.
And say, I'm sorry. Yes, you were right. I'm wrong. Okay. I think, you know,
Are we recording this podcast? I'd
Yeah.
really like that on.
we've beat that horse out to death. Beat that horse
Yeah,
out
I'm
to
checking.
death. So it is what it is. So we're getting a ton of questions, guys, on our game bags. Where we're at with our game bags, with everything that's been going on with sew shops and stuff, we are kind of at a standstill right now, trying to move forward. Steve, have you experienced the same difficulties lately?
We've been fortunate with our sew shops, man. The one we have in Washington, they're also making face masks, so they're still in business because they're essential. Our one in Idaho was able to kind of be under the same classification. So we've been very, very lucky that everything's going forward. But it's not. Yeah, there's so many disruptions out there. It's. I was up for like 4 hours last night in the middle of the night, just like what the hell the next 2 years are going to look like, because I think nobody knows yet. You know.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of impact from this that trickle out for the next couple of years.
Cody, can you elaborate on game bag status?
No. So the biggest issue we've got right now, the material that we've tested has been, we purchased from a U.S. company, but it looks like it's manufactured overseas. So we're trying right now. The timeline is a little up in the air as to when we can actually get the mass quantity of materials there. So I know, like Speck, you luckily you said you kind of planned out the year, you had a bunch of material in stock and helping you roll through this. Us being new in the manufacturing side, we have about hit every roadblock known to man on this because of COVID. But
Yeah. Welcome to manufacturing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
It's a different world, man. It's a different world.
Man. That's different. It'll be interesting. I mean, the last few years, everyone's so busy, it's hard to even get in someone's door. You know, if you're small, they could care less about you. It's tough.
Next question. Niche? That can't be a real name.
Wow, Trent. Nick.
Is that Nick? Is that Nick? That's my bad. We know Trevor can't go without. I wanted to tee this one up for you, brother.
Wow.
We know that Trevor. We know that Trevor can't go without his floss in his pack. What is one thing the rest of you guys can't go without? Steve, Speck, go ahead.
Man, that's a tough one. Whiskey. It's a party
You're
celebration.
welcome.
Yeah, that's all due to you.
Cody.
Wet ones.
Yeah. Steve.
Nice one.
But I can't go with, I got to have some good Charmin double ply extra soft TP. That's my go-to.
We're going to end off with the dentist, but I will say, I will say a good knife. I haven't understood how much I use a pocket knife until I actually use a pocket knife all the time. And anyway, I would say a good knife, but I'm sure Trevor will have a great answer for it.
He's going to have a gym.
Notice none of you guys said toothbrush.
My brother's
Wow.
a dentist. My brother's a dentist. Why would I need one?
I'm currently unemployed, and I would still bring. Gosh, you only brush and floss the ones you want to keep, boys. Even in September, it's like bringing a trekking pole. Some things are worth a little extra weight.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you used those wisp things? Little mini wisp toothbrushes? No? Yeah. Check them out. Colgate, I think, makes it.
I just bring I buy a little kid's toothbrush, actually. That's what I do.
Yep.
Bring that. And then these little things, pretty sweet.
Of course, he's got them on hand.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Let's just move forward before we get. Yeah. Let's just move forward. Buck Slayer. Chug it, Trevor. You had the phone going off, and you have a classy look. There
You butchered that one. You had the phone going off. Last look.
Yeah.
Sounds out.
Needs a refill. So.
Someone's got
Yeah. Here, I did see a question earlier, and I forget who asked that, and it was talking about, do you guys foresee any of the states closing hunting to non-residents this fall, and what impact that has on the hunting industry overall?
Good question.
Yeah,
That is
Could happen. What Douglas County here locally, where Cody lives, released a report closing down parks until September 20th. Is it?
well, no, that's
Something like
so currently it's the Forest Service for the state. So basically anything that's been a developed recreation site that has, for the most part, it's like if a trailhead has a restroom at it, then it's closed for public access. The trail is open. I've been in contact with one of the guys there at Forest Service, just kind of like, could a guy park down the road? He's like, absolutely. The forest isn't closed. The trails aren't closed. It's just those places that people could congregate at and spread. But yeah, it's pushed out to September 30th. He said the main reason there is so they don't have to, if things did lapse longer, then they're not going to have to extend it. It's easier to make it, hey, it's open now versus another extension on it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's strange times. Like that trip
When
that
you
we just
see
had.
those restrictions though so early, and they're so long, it certainly makes you think this could last a lot longer than we think it can.
Yeah.
This is a great question. Awesome question. I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just going to go with the question. Steve, how would you and your team do different for elk hunting if you had another chance to go to the same spots that you went with the born and raised guys?
Man, I don't know. I think we just hunt so different than you guys. There was a big learning curve that first year.
Just please don't say we'd be more successful. That just looks bad on our end.
No, you guys, there's no question. You guys are better elk hunters than us.
No.
I think we've been super fortunate that in Idaho, in certain units, the last 10 years, it's been really freaking easy. Like people would ask me where to go. I'm like, throw a dart at the map and you're going to find elk and get in there, have some ounce of hunting skill, know how to use the wind, be smart, and you're going to kill an elk over a week-long hunt. I think you guys grew up, hunting much, much tougher hunting, and are just kind of forced to evolve and be better hunters. So yeah, we learned a lot from you guys. I can't wait to do a third trip and hunt with you. So yeah.
Wyoming, please, Wyoming.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Lamb says, what is your bucket list hunts? Let's go around the table. Let's go. Steve, go ahead.
It used to be like Marco Polo sheep or something like that. And then you actually look at the cost of that, and like spending money on hunting just isn't right to me. So yeah, probably right now, I was actually supposed to be leaving in 2 weeks for a New Zealand tar hunt, which is like crazy cheap. You basically fly down there and everything's free, which was going to be an awesome hunt. That obviously got canceled. That's kind of it, man. Like I said, I'd love to do a grizzly bear hunt with a bow, but I'm not going to fork out 30 grand to do that. Like experience can't be worth that money, So yeah, the more I've done, I'm rambling here, but the more I've done Alaska hunts, non-resident hunts, it makes me appreciate so much what we were born and raised with, of public land, going out, hunting with your dad. I mean, those experiences are incredible. We're so stinking fortunate to live in the West and grow up out here.
100% agreed. Trevor, go ahead. Bucket list.
Probably a bucket list would be trying to kill a moose with a bow with my dad. I've always wanted to do that, or watch him kill one.
Okay. Are you done, or are you just going to sit there and take up time?
That's all I got. I mean, do you want me to describe it more to you, or?
No, I just want your answer. But you're
On a crispy September morning.
sitting there, you're sitting there on Crater Lake, just
With the
loving
fog
life.
rolling in. Woo!
Cody, go ahead.
The one that I even sent a group text here about 4 a.m, because I couldn't sleep last week, about Kazakhstan or Mongolia for elk for their morale stag. I still think that I've yet to ever see any information on bow hunting them. I don't even know if it's legal, but for whatever reason, that like sticks through to me to go on that hunt. I think I want to round up the guy that helped Justin and Chris from when they went to Mongolia on their fly fishing expedition. I can't remember his name. That guy.
Chris Owens and
Owens and
Jesse
Crump, and they did the fly fishing. Yeah, those
Trout
guys.
Bums.
Yeah, trout bums. I think that trip with that guy that knows the country, Mongolia, and like full expedition, and the Russian like off-road vans and all that. I think that would just be phenomenal.
As long as you didn't have to drink that milk vodka.
It's go vodka. Steve and I, Speck and I are all in. I'll pack it for him all day.
Howard, what's your dream hunt, bud?
Elk hunting is my passion, but my bucket list is Yukon moose with a bow. That's Alaskan Yukon.
Yep.
That's what I want to do at some point. I will do it.
Yeah.
Someday.
Oh,
Someday.
we're gonna all do it at some point.
Oh yeah.
No, mine would be, it's just, I realized a lot of things. Honestly, this morning I was looking back through our YouTube videos, and how many 100 videos we have out there is crazy. And the most, the ones that most like just run near and dear to my heart is the ones with family. So I honestly, I don't need to kill anything. It could be black bear tomorrow morning with my son. It could be, it could be whatever. So every hunt is different to me. I don't have a hunt that really stands out and just is like, I need to do this. I have no qualms. It's just every single one is different, and I've learned more from just these last few years of, I really don't have to shoot anything in my life. So that would be my hunt. That's not even a hunt. Let's just move. Let's just move.
You can film me this year then, Trent, if you don't need to shoot him.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Trevor? What are you gonna do?
I would agree though. Watching the kids
It's pretty awesome.
out there, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome.
It was pretty cool, and I will say this: like, just recently, I've been taking my son out hunting. I don't have a bear tag, and Steve said, "Hey, here's the deal, Wyatt, because there's a mentor program in Oregon, and any kid that is on the mentor program can kill whatever tag is available. And Steve has a bear tag for the Southwest here, and Steve is just like, Wyatt, you can kill anything. And so we have a bear video coming out here. I'm working on it right now, but anyway, it's pretty cool. I don't want to give everything away, but it's pretty awesome that Steve would give up his tag and just say, hey, no, there is a youth right here, and let him hunt on it. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, moving forward.
I got a question from Tim Errett. Says, how do you guys handle hunting pressure? Do you stick with it or move to a new location?
Draw a good tag in Arizona and just go hunt.
That'd be nice every year.
Okay. All right.
No, we grind. We stick with it. And I personally believe we have a plan and we just keep going. Doesn't matter. I mean, even we go to a trailhead or wherever there's a parking spot and there's people, we go hunt and we find a way to make things happen. So
I'll never forget that.
We don't get discouraged.
In Colorado, we were having tough times where we were. Cody made a phone call. Remember that?
Secret
Cody?
hunting hole.
Yeah, secret hunting hole. And we show up.
South Cox goes, well, I deer hunted there once, and I was up at 12,000 feet, and I heard a bunch of bulls bugling down below me. Little did we know that we drove like 14 hours in the state of Colorado, which I didn't even know was possible.
All night long, and we show up, and there is I don't know how many horse trailers and cars. I mean,
it was like Walmart parking lot.
Oh my goodness!
There was over 30 horse trailers at the trailhead. It was like, awesome. And we're driving into. I remember this specifically. We're like driving up this creek road, like, man, it doesn't even look like anyone's been up here. We're gonna have this place. We come around the corner, and it's just camps everywhere. It's just like, and it's like, how did they get a 6-horse slant trailer up here? I have no idea, because we're like, it's kind of a rough road. And anyways, that was definitely a lesson learned though, of go in, and especially with horse country per se, where it's big. I mean, you could go in there 25 miles. We found that sweet spot and hunted that inner zone of where people weren't day hunting and people were riding past some horses and killed some bulls. So
yeah, we got a couple bulls out of that. So
we did that last year in Colorado again during rifle season as well. I remember Cody and I counted, there was 17 vehicles. We hiked in and we killed a bull. 2 bulls.
Yeah.
Big lesson. Yeah. Don't let rigs discourage you. Just go hunting. Go hunting.
Yeah. Jansen Davis asked, does it matter if you buy an expensive tent?
Oh.
I've seen a river runs through it going through Cody's little trekking pole thing.
Beck, do we want to talk about what I gave you? Do we want to talk about it or not? I mean, is it up in the air?
A good tent is nice.
I borrowed a chunk of tieback for one night, I do recall I packed a Nook out by myself so you guys can hunt, and I also packed in like a 12-pack of beer for everybody.
I hope that doesn't affect your
A
company.
little bit of
Well,
time.
I hope that doesn't affect your company. But no, it's that time of year. I mean, it's that September where you can get away with nothing. You can get away with a sleeping bag on the ground, or you can have snow pile on your face all day. So it's one of those things where it's that give and take, right? And I think that's part of backpacking.
Yeah, we did a budget podcast, like budget backpacking podcast. Mark and I did. Really, there's a difference between a Walmart cheap tent and a $199 tent at REI. The $199 tent at REI is just going to be 8 ounces to a pound heavier than the $400 or $500 one, and probably more durable. So if his question is, is there a difference between a $200 and a $500 tent? No, just a little bit of weight. Don't go buy one at Walmart for $39.99. Yeah, you're probably asking for trouble. But if you're just getting started and you want to get something cheap, yeah, don't go buy something that's quality. But it's just going to be heavier fabric.
So I should take that back.
I think on gear, I think so many people, and we had a pretty cool little fireside chat with First Light last night. It was there was only like 15 people on it. So they asked some specific questions, and people asked, like, what's the most number one valuable essential item that you take? And I think, and I may be wrong, but I would say your mental state and what you have between your ears right here far outweighs anything that's in your pack, of like, okay, I'm going to grit this out. Doesn't matter how tough it is, whatever it is, like having that confidence going into it. And I think part of that comes with experience versus you could buy all the whiz bang gear and have the lightest of the lightest stuff, and then go in there and don't have the gut to actually go do the hunt, and you're going to be back at the trailhead first. So I watched a guy last week over there snake in bear hunting, and he slept in a puffy pants and puffy jacket, no pad. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And he stayed up on the mountain, and it was no big deal to him, where people were like, oh, I don't have the gear, I'm not going to go do it. It's like one night of your life. What's that going to mean? Yeah, it was crappy sleep, and he made it through it and got up the next morning and spotted a mountain lion at daylight and went off running. So, that was just like, he wouldn't have had that experience if he would have said, well, no, I only have my big canvas bag for a base camp, and I'm going to stay here.
Did you say he spotted a mountain lion?
Oh, yeah. Yep. At daylight, literally, like, first thing, we're like literally laying in sleeping bags, and there was a mountain lion it was like almost 2 miles away, 2,500 feet up. And he took off after it. And by the time we got to the ridge to where we set up spot and scope, it slipped in the timber, and I didn't get footage of it. But yeah, we glassed up a mountain lion and a bobcat and a bear. Like, yeah.
Wow. Predator-rich environment.
Yep, that's one reason why I don't run a quilt. Quilts are terrible. See, if you had a sleeping bag, you could have slept with them and have a great night. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Laugh it up, Speck. Next question.
Bill asks, do you use a GPS? If so, what kind?
My phone.
Onyx GPS on my phone.
Oh.
Everybody spoke at the same time. Let's just do that one at a time.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay. I think we did it again at the same time. So I think the overall answer was Onyx on our phones. And guys, it's the most giant question that gets asked. And anyway, it's you don't need service. Just download the maps and go hunting. It's one of the greatest tools that we use every single day. So Brad Balch. Yep.
If you're hold on, just to touch on that, Trent, real quick, is if you're using your phone with Onyx GPS, you download it when you have service, download your map. You can go into airplane mode and turn off your service, utilize the map in full function. And then as far as recharging your battery for your phone, you're in airplane mode, so the battery lasts a whole lot longer. And then we use little battery packs that we pre-charge before we go on the hunt. I use, it's called an Anchor. I bought it at Walmart for $49.99, and I get like 5 charges. I've never used through the whole battery pack on a 7 or 8 day hunt. So that's what we all do. That's what I do personally, and it's worked well for me. So
Nice.
Christopher Brown asked, does EXO make a tent, or would you ever make a tent?
We've actually prototyped a bunch because I've never been happy with tent choices and selections. At the end of the day, we've had some really cool stuff that we've worked on, just never I don't know, just never put it out there. Just never quite got to what we wanted. So 99.99% of our focus is on the packs and continuing to make them better and keep that system simple. Tents is definitely something I've chipped away at, and like I said, we've worked on it, but not off the table, but not coming out anytime soon. I can tell you that much. So
I'll look for it next month. So
Yeah. Chris Williamson asks, he's on the fence between pack sizes. Will you go with a larger bag on the EXO frame to help contain something crazy like 2 hams and a head, or is that irrelevant?
2 hams and a head.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So the bag is completely irrelevant to how much meat you can pack. To a quick answer to this question. So doesn't matter if you have our 1800 or 6400, you're packing the same amount of elk meat because it's the same frame. The dimensions, the back dimensions of the bag are the same on all of them. So you're just looking at the bag size for what you're packing. If you're day hunting, you get 1800. If you're you guys and you do anywhere from day hunts to 5-6 days, 4800 is a sweet spot there.
I think that's a big thing as far as like your frame is your frame, right? I mean, it's what you put on it for what you want to carry into to go hunting or whatnot, but your frame, and that's what I love about the EXO. It's just like it's built bulletproof from the frame up. So you have a frame and you can carry any amount of weight that you want to on the frame. Everything extra from that is just your camp, your extras. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that's the original kind of design intent behind EXO, was to always have a frame with you. That was like, we had to make decisions between like packs that would held weight well or packs that were lightweight, comfortable to wear all day long. And that was our goal, was to build a hunting pack that could do both of those. So whether you're day hunting or you're out for a week, you need to have a frame with you. I mean, it's entirely possible to leave the truck that morning and end up, 3.5-4 miles from the truck and kill an elk. And kind of the old school method would be to have a crappy day pack on your back that all of a sudden you either A, can't pack meat, or B, throwing a ham over your shoulder to get out there to go get a pack frame. So it's like, none of that made any sense to us. Let's just build something that can pack, you can carry all day long, that's light, that can pack meat at any given time.
100%.
Yeah.
What is like a 3500 completely empty weigh, Spec?
Yeah, so right now we got 18, 32, 48, 6400. Basically you're 4.5 pounds to 5.5 pounds. Like I said, the frame's the frame, so the weight doesn't fluctuate that much. It's just the weight of the bag by itself. And you're basically a pound is the only, from top to bottom is really the only difference.
That's
Not
impressive.
much.
That's impressive.
Quick question, Trevor. In your birthday bowl, right before the bowl came in, you sprayed something in the air. What was it?
Elk pee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Or it might have been my cologne. I don't remember, but no.
Good chance.
We don't ever use scent or anything like that. But we have, I think was it Wyoming, the first year ever we went out of state. We tried it out and got away with maybe 5 extra seconds on a bull with, I forget, I think it was with Chris Apui and Cody. And it was just kind of an eye-opener, like, well, it probably won't cover our scent forever, but if it gives you 5 extra seconds in the bow hunting world, that's a big deal. So I've carried it on and off ever since then.
I've also seen him carry Axe body spray. On and off, not on and off full time.
I carry that mostly for you, Trent, along with toothpaste and an extra toothpaste.
There was a question.
52 days with 2 showers. I mean, a guy's got to breathe.
I had a pretty good layer built up already.
Yeah, I will say Trent did better at not stinking over me, and I had taken like other showers. He like had this crust on him that like
Steve can attest. Speck, who smelt it worst? I don't even know if that's even a real thing, but who smelt worst?
You did not smell that bad for how long you've been out. I'll just put it that way.
Trent, you had such a froth built up on you. If you would have jumped in water and not even tried to tread, you would have floated.
That's how bad it was. Off of him. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Steve Howard, question here for you. Release preference, thumb or index, and release, and why?
For me personally, I switched to a thumb, and I like it a lot more. Just for whatever reason, it works better for me. The index was just a little too sensitive, so I went to a thumb, and it just worked a lot better for me.
I think this is a great question for both Speck and Steve Howard, as far as like, and all of us. I think everybody in this realm, and I don't want to open up a giant can of worms as far as target panic, but I
dealt with it bad for like 5 years.
Yeah, no, and I think a back tension Speck. I think, can you address something like this?
Yeah, I can. I balance like there's accuracy at the range, and there's like being effective and efficient out there hunting. To me, having index finger wrist strap, like that's accessible and ready. Yeah, I shoot better with a thumb trigger at the range. Steve Howard, I'd love to hear from you, like what you're doing with that release. I tried hunting with a thumb trigger one year. It's like in my pocket and, strapped around your wrist. It's a pain in the ass. So to me, it's like single pin slider sights, freaking awesome at the range, suck ass when an elk's coming in, it's 20 yards, then it's 35 yards, then it's 50 yards, and you're trying to adjust your knob the entire time to range that thing, right? And keep messing with it. You're losing, you're not going to kill that elk because you're messing with it. So I kind of look at the thumb thing the same way. But Steve, how do you address carrying it when you're hunting?
For me personally, I went to a single pin for a couple of years, and like you said, it was really hard. I actually ended up killing a bull with a single pin sight, but I had a lot of time to make that shot. But for me, it was I didn't want to stay with the single pin because I wanted, the 5 pins where I had quicker options. But that thumb release just kind of slowed everything down for me with the strap and the index release. I was just shooting way too fast, so it allowed me to slow everything down. That's what worked good for me. It might not be for everybody, but it really helped me a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think something slowing you down in the heat of the moment is always a good thing. You always have 5 extra seconds that you don't know you have. Or
yeah,
you got to shoot right away. Yeah.
I did that yesterday turkey hunting, not gonna lie. With a shotgun.
With a gun?
Yeah.
I will say
yep.
I can't wait to watch that video.
Yeah. I hit the delete right as soon as that shot went off. So
you better not.
I need to see that. Yeah. All right. I
will say hunting in Colorado with Nick Schmidt, he was using that thumb release, and there was one moment where we sat down for a break and then took another hike, and next thing you know, we had been hunting for a while and he didn't have his release anymore. And we had to get on Onyx and follow our tracks all the way back, and we actually found his release again. But I
have never lost mine. Mine's always, I don't know, it just slows me down. I get it. I get wound up. I can't help it. So it helps slow me down a little bit and try to be more, cautious and just take each step slower as it's going. Cause otherwise it can be not good at times.
I love it.
I actually in the first land of the free in Colorado, we were doing rambush on chasing that bull right up the face. And I was carrying it like right in between my hip belt and my body. And I was shoving it down there, and we took off running after the bull and got up there, set up, knocked the arrow, went to grab my release, gone. And I had a back right in my hood. And I can't remember who was filming. I think it was maybe Crockett or somebody was filming right there. And I'm like, release, help me. And I'm like trying to get my release as the bull was coming in. And that was not fun. Like that experience was
A little different.
Yeah.
It has helped me calm down a little bit.
Yeah,
Not much, just a touch.
Yeah, I love shooting a thumb trigger, man, but just that hunting.
Cool. Well, we've been at this over an hour. Any closing comments, guys? Speck, anything that you want to just throw out to people, new stuff, anything that we can look forward to in the future, anytime that you're going to pay for a cool hunt that I'm going to go on, anything like that. Anything.
Hopefully Cody and I draw Wyoming tags and you get a tag along and back once a year.
We'll be there.
I am so ready. Bruce is going to show up. Bottom line.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. It's always a good time chatting with you guys.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. Cody, you want to close this out?
Yeah, no, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I think this is in these strange times, this is a cool place for us to let our hair down, enjoy a drink, talk with good friends and get some questions. So I just really appreciate everyone tuning in. It really means the world to us. And if you guys have any thoughts on who you want to see as a guest, hit the comment section and tell us who you want to be on your next Beers with Bro. So.
And I'm going to look into trying to get that background that you got going on because it's pretty bad, eh?
It's pretty awesome.
Northern
Trevor?
Lights, Alaska, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Trevor, Crater Lake's closed down. You might want to shut that one down, bro.
I'll probably get fined.
Yeah, good chance. So,
Yeah.
Thank everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next Thursday at 6 or 7, depending on the guest on what time. So please join us next week, guys.
See ya.
Good night, y'all. Thanks, Steve.
Take care,
Fun
everybody.
talking to you, man.
Thanks, guys. See ya.